All right, everybody, welcome to another conversation here with some Raleigh young professional folks. Lindsey, Colin, thank you guys for joining me. I'm excited to meet you. First time I've had 3 people on a call, 2
Oh,
guests.
cool.
Yeah,
Let's hope it goes well.
yeah, it's already going, the best I've ever had. So you guys are doing great. But I am super excited to chat with you and just let, definitely our network here in Raleigh, the Raleigh Young Professionals, which is who we're kind of speaking to right now, 5,000 people, get to know a little bit more about you guys and who you are and where you're from and, all the dirt. So, do me a favor, introduce yourself and tell us who you guys are.
The dirt.
Well, you don't have to do the dirt. You can if you want.
We're married.
There's the dirt.
Yeah. I'll let you kick it off.
All right. My name is Colin Ryan. I'm a professional speaker and now a speaker coach. And we moved down here earlier this year, just for a little while, just visiting, fell in love with the area, went back to Vermont, sold our house, and now here we are. We live in South Durham. And North Carolina is a really special place. We're excited to be here. We really believe that now more than ever, we have an opportunity to connect with people. Just because it's through the screen doesn't mean it's any less real. And we have this technology. So we thought this would be a good chance to talk with Chuck and just like say hello, make the pitch for friends.
Yes, please.
We're new. And and just wanted to be part of this group and get to know other people here. So
awesome. And I'm Lindsey. I'm a coach and really primarily working with women on negotiation and self-promotion skills. And it's interesting, anytime I say those 2 words or those 2 phrases, typically what comes up is phrases like greedy, selfish, don't want to do it, would rather do like watch Netflix. So I think it's such a great, those are 2 skill sets that I have personally benefited from learning. And I really believe that anyone can learn those skills. So I love, if you want to ever talk about those things, that is like, I will geek out with you about those.
I love that. How could everybody not want to talk about those things and geek out?
Right.
I think that's so cool. I've never heard anybody that focuses or specializes in that area. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
And Lindsey, I'm going to embarrass you, but didn't you just receive a special endorsement through your Google I'm Remarkable workshops?
Yeah. So it's funny because when we were living in Chapel Hill earlier this year, I stumbled across this initiative that Google had. It's called #I'mRemarkable. And it was all around really digging into gender modesty norms and like, why do women feel like they have to be humble, and like, why do women and men perceive women who self-promote as, bossy or aggressive or like that woman. So anyway, I became certified, and I was just endorsed by Google as a gold tier facilitator because I've been doing these workshops so much.
Gold tier globally, by the way.
It was
a very big deal.
It's really funny. So funny, and I'm like, I earned it there. I need to own that.
Self-promotion.
Self-promotion. So it's clearly a passion.
I love that. And I'm sure I screw up every single day because, that is life and parenting. But I have a 6-year-old daughter, and I am hyper aware of the words I say and the message that comes across with how I, raise her and how I want her to have a big voice and have big energy and be proud and pat herself on the back and do all those things. I don't ever want to be like, kids should be seen and not heard kind of a thing. And so I'm super aware of that, but I definitely can learn a lot from you. So I'm glad we're having this conversation. I'm taking notes.
Well, I love that you're aware of it. That's probably 80% of it is just being aware of, how you're navigating that and like what words you're choosing. And, I think about like what I grew up with, and I know that like I was taught not to be a show off, and then you're like, all of a sudden you're in a work situation where you need to be a show off, and you're like, why am I not doing this? Right. We download those messages so early.
It's so true. Okay. Oh man, we can keep this conversation going. And so, let's shift for a second. So Colin, speaker coach, you've been doing this for 10 years or so, you told me, is that right?
That's right. Yeah. I was primarily a personal finance speaker on college campuses.
Ah,
And what I discovered through that work, Chuck, was that you can take literally any message, no matter how boring, challenging, depressing it is, and you can make it human, you can make it memorable, and you can make it effective for the people who need to hear it. And so along the way, I became really passionate about not just telling my own story, furthering my own speaking career, but helping other entrepreneurs and professionals come across the way they want to come across and to make connections, whether it's through the screen or through a public speaking opportunity. And what I found is that it's very rare to get somebody who can tell you from an expert perspective in a productive way, as opposed to like a Shark Tank or a slam you down kind of a way, like how you can do better and like what things you're already doing really well. So I really, that really lights me up to help people make their messages more memorable and be more authentic in the way that they present themselves. And so that's been a really fun couple of years now of moving in that direction.
I love it. You two are like power couple here, right? like, how could everybody not want to hang out with you? Like, I'm checking the box. Like, will you hang out with me? Yeah.
Well, thank you, Chuck. You
Yeah.
should have seen us in the yard yesterday. We were a power couple. We had leaf blowers and rakes and hoes. And
I don't do manual labor, but I can do
No.
you can figure out some other things to do. But yeah. I prefer not to work too hard when it comes to that.
Fair
I
enough.
was thinking too, Colin, when you were talking, I think I go back to when I was in college, and I remember having to take a public speaking class. And I remember it was the most frightful moment of my life. Like, I remember it. Like, I can think today, I graduated college 20 something years ago, and I can remember that moment sitting in that class. I remember what the classroom feels like, I remember what it looked like, and getting up to speak and being petrified. And I've come a long way since then, and actually now I really enjoy being on stages and speaking. But I remember that moment, like, and I think that's pretty common. Like, are most people, like, do they start off that same way?
Totally. And they get that same look that you had of like, I'm in the room right now, it's happening.
Yeah.
And what's so critical about that, Chuck, is people either thrive in that moment, you know, they forget that they were even nervous. They're like, oh my gosh, I love this. Or something happened, because speaking is such an unpredictable medium, and there's people and there's timing and technology. Something happened that made it go poorly, and it can really crush you. And so sometimes when I do a workshop, it's just starting there and being like, what is the baggage you're bringing into it? Because even the worst disaster that can happen when you're speaking, there's usually a very specific reason that's not because of you that led to that. And then we kind of go and internalize it and feel like, oh my gosh, I did terribly and all this stuff. And I think it's fun to get past that, because it's an incredible, there's no better platform to connect with people and to share a message than to just really like take the time to prepare and to be there, present.
But to be there,
you
know, like, so you're like butterfly. Like, I remember I used to get full on panic attacks. This is like early, probably like just before I met Colin. And then of course, like seeing him speak, and I kind of was like, oh, what's he doing? And one of the best pieces of advice that he gave me, because he asked me like, Linz, when do you get the most nervous? And I said, I'm nervous when people are silent and they're like not giving me anything. And he's like, have you ever thought that maybe they're silent because they're listening to you?
Yeah.
I was like,
reframe it, right?
No.
It's how you frame it.
Yeah. So even that, like, that helped me calm down. And now, like, I don't get butterflies. Like, I never thought that was possible.
Because you were probably killing it.
Maybe, but like
my bar is, if they're talking, then they're not into what's happening.
Yeah.
Anything less than that is probably a really positive sign.
Right. I remember one of the things that helped me, and I'll get back on topic, I think, or maybe this is on topic.
This is on topic.
One of the things that stuck with me once was, I remember getting up to speak in front of a big room one time, and someone asked me like how I was feeling, and I said I was nervous, and they said, no, you're excited. And I was like, what? And they're like, it's the exact same thing in your body. Just tell yourself you're excited. And that changed a lot for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well,
That's a great one.
And to validate that, I mean, I've done over 800 professional speeches.
Yeah.
You know, that feeling is always there. It's always game day, you know, and your body's doing whatever your body's doing. And you're like, I've got an hour till I go up there. And then it can become this really beautiful, I think, place where you can really be yourself and you can really listen in a heightened way, and you can amplify the voices of people in your audience who have a great perspective. It can be a really beautiful place, but yeah, there's always that excitement / nervous, you know, terror going into it.
Oh, totally. Okay, so you guys are new to the area. You're from Vermont. You're looking to make some connections. You just want to meet some folks. You're living in Durham now. And so for any of our listeners that want to get together and do some yard work with you, you know, we'll get them to be able to connect with you here in a second. But Lindsey, who is it maybe professionally you're looking to connect with? Is there anybody in this group that you would love to maybe grab a virtual coffee or beer, or maybe not virtual beer with?
For sure. Really, for me, it would probably be more women entrepreneurs who have been in their businesses for probably, I don't know, say like 3 to 5 years. Like, so I've had my own business for almost 8 years at this point, and I really love having an accountability group or some, you know, just like raising our frequency. Anyone who's interested in that kind of thing, I'm totally game. And then of course, like anyone who's interested in just like getting outside, because I can only do so much laptop work, hence the yard work. And I am like a total DIYer. I like love painting. I love like building stuff. I volunteered earlier this year for Habitat for Humanity. So like that's me. And I'm a huge dog lover. So.
All right. I will let you know the next time I need you to watch my little dog that bites like crazy. So she's very sweet though. Now, what's the best way for people to connect with you, Lindsey, if they do want to get together and know more about you? Is LinkedIn the way to go, or do you have a better?
Yeah, LinkedIn works. I'm at coach_Linz on Instagram. I primarily hang out on Instagram. So you can DM me there. And then my website is lindseylathrop.com.
Okay.
And you have a free email series that I think I chipped in a little bit back in the day, but you really made this beautiful resource for people if they want to learn more.
Yeah, about self-promotion. It's a 7-day self-promotion challenge. You're part of a few of those days.
Yeah, that's on your website, right?
Yep. So that could be a way to get to.
She didn't ask me to say that, by the way. I really just think it's awesome. I love that she made a free resource.
I'm glad you mentioned it.
Yeah. And so my coaching, you can find at paidpresenter.com. And I also have some free videos. I have a video on how to connect more virtually, which feels pretty relevant this year. And I mean, I love to cycle. I don't want the yard work thing to focus us in the wrong area. That's a necessary evil. You know, we want to hike, and I love to ride my bike. And so I'm just looking for people who know the area and have good suggestions for places to get out. And then you can also find me at colinryanspeaks.com. That's my main website. So that'll kind of, if you're interested or just want to talk more.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. And you guys said something to me before that I just really love that before we wrap up, I want to have you kind of elaborate on. And you talked about how you're just living a big life. And I love that. And I want to do that. And I want everyone to do that. And what does that mean to you guys?
To have the ability to manage your time as you want to manage your time. I mean, that's like the most finite thing that we have, right? So for us, I think that yes, we love what we do, but primarily it allows us to lead the kind of life that we want, and to be able to be flexible. Before COVID, to travel, we travel a lot, but really like be in control, have the freedom.
Yeah. I mean, Chuck, I had really enjoyed your video on how to buy a house during a pandemic, if that's something you're interested in doing. And we did that.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here. We looked at our house virtually. We had a team of people we trusted who did everything. And then there was this moment when we drove down this street and we're like, there's a building at the end of the street that we now own and live in. And it was so surreal. and it has worked out really beautifully. It's just been an adventure. And so I think, we talk a lot about courage, and courage does not mean you're not afraid. It doesn't mean you're stressed or you don't lose sleep. It just means you keep moving forward and you make the best decisions you can. And I feel very proud that we're here. And so
it's just more data. Like every time you take a step, it's just more data that you have that you didn't have before.
I love that. What a great answer. So I really appreciate both of you coming in, having a chat with me and connecting with our group here. I'm sure there's going to be some people in here that are going to be reaching out, myself included. So I'm really excited to get to know you both more. I'm excited you're here in the Triangle now. Welcome to the area. And just happy to make some connections for you. So if there's anything else I can do for you, please let me know. Raleigh Young Professional folks, please reach out. Please connect with them. Send them a message right now. Check out their website. Sign up for the mailing list. And then just say, hey, let's go hop on our bikes and go for a ride or go for a hike and grab a drink or something. But I appreciate y'all being here. And I look forward to coming with another Raleigh Young Professional Member Spotlight for everybody real soon. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you too, Chuck.
Thanks,
Thank
Chuck.
you.
Thank you.